In our last video we started our River Avon trip, in which we're going to follow the course of the river from source to the town of Tewkesbury. We started off in the village of Naseby to find the source of the river. We also visited the site of what was probably the most decisive battle in the English Civil War, just outside the village. And as we followed the river further, we came across an interesting monument of an aviation pioneer called Percy Pilcher at Stanford Hall. In this video we move along to Rugby in Warwickshire, which is located just south of the River Avon. We only had a couple of hours to spend in the town, but we were able to see some of the sights, but we probably need to make a return visit as there was so much to see. Rugby is probably best known for Rugby School, which is where the game of rugby football was invented. According to sports legend, in 1823, William Webb Ellis, a pupil at the school, defied the convention of the day and picked up the ball and ran with it. Whilst it is known that Webb Ellis was a student at Rugby School, there is actually no direct evidence that the event actually took place. But nevertheless, Rugby School was pivotal in the development of rugby football, and the first rules of the game were established there in 1845. Rugby union is now played around the world, and there are 132 members of World Rugby, with the game being played professionally in 116 different countries.
So we're standing in front of Rupert Brooke's statue in Rugby on our trip along the Avon. The Avon actually passes to the north of Rugby. Rupert Brooke was born in 1887 and lived at Hillmorton Road in Rugby, and his father was a housemaster or schoolmaster at Rugby School. Of course, we all think of Rupert Brooke and we think of those wonderful lines he wrote during the First World War. If I should die, think only this of me, that there's some corner of a foreign field that is forever England. It's very sad, as it was for many of the boys, and many fought and died in the First World War, that he died of sepsis just before the end of the war. He actually served in the Royal Navy and was buried on the island of Skyros. He was only 27. They were on their way to the Gallipoli campaign. It would be wonderful to think about what he could have produced if he hadn't have died so young. Well, we're still in Rugby, and another person who's associated with this part of the country is Sir Frank Whittle, who, according to the statue here, was the father of the jet engine. And it's a rather impressive statue of him. And what is that supposed to be, an engine, Gus?
Trying to work out
That
exactly
thing
what the design represents.
Yeah. But it is rather lovely actually when you look at it in detail, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's some more information up there, so shall we have a look? It's a shame that the information board is a bit mucky actually. But the sculptor is Stephen Broadbent. So I'm going to say it's rather impressive, that sculpture is. But it does tell you a little bit more about Sir Frank Whittle, born 1907 to 1996. But I think I'll leave it for Gary to give you more information when he's putting the video together.
Frank Whittle was born in Coventry in 1907, and he is credited with the invention of the turbojet engine. Whittle demonstrated an aptitude for engineering and an interest in flying from an early age. He joined the RAF in 1923 as a member of No. 1 Squadron of Cranwell Aircraft Apprentices. He excelled in his studies, and it was at this time he formulated the fundamental concepts that led to the creation of the turbojet engine, taking out a patent in 1930. Without any Air Ministry support, he and two retired RAF servicemen formed the company Power Jets Limited. A prototype first ran in 1937. By 1939, after a number of design developments, the Air Ministry agreed a contract with the Gloucester Aircraft Company for an aircraft to flight test the jet engine. And on the 15th of May 1941, the first plane took off from Cranwell, flying 17 minutes and reaching a maximum speed of 340 miles an hour. Within days, it was reaching 370 miles an hour at 25,000 feet, exceeding the performance of the contemporary Spitfires. In 1943, Power Jets was nationalised, and it was at this time that Whittle unfortunately suffered a nervous breakdown and resigned from the board in 1946. He retired from the RAF in 1948 and worked at various roles at BOAC and Shell. He emigrated to the US in 1978. Whittle died in 1996 at his home in Columbia, Maryland.
Because it's very cold, and my fingers are cold, and Gary's fingers are cold, and I should have put my hat on, and I didn't. But never mind. So far, so good today, because it's a lovely sunny day, and we'll see you in the coffee shop.
Where we came in.
Straight on here, I think. Straight on. I think this is the 428 now. Shouldn't need that anymore. Oh, that looks interesting. Well, that is. This could be the bridge. Whoopie-doo, over the Avon. We've found it, and it floods.
Yep.
And where's my phone? I'll do a little video because there's nothing behind, is there?
No.
Just video.
Side. Kingsland.
Here we go. Here is the River Avon. We finally found somewhere where we can cross it, and it's so dinky at this point. It obviously floods because you've got flooding, and I'll show you the other side.
See?
So we're having an interesting journey coming into Kings Newham. In a minute we'll go back over the river the other way. We're in Church Lawford and we're going to go to Bretford.
So take a left.
Hold on a minute. If you go left, yes. Newham Hall is down here, Bretford. Yeah.
Right, yep. Left is right.
Oh, it's this dinky roads, isn't it?
And there's this building.
Oh gosh, I wonder what that is. Is that an old church? Oh, it's recorded.
Yeah, well.
I can't see what I'm doing here. Stop. This looks like an old church. obviously not used anymore, but I shall have to look it up.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yes, it's lovely actually. Don't want to run the locals over though.
No.
Oh wow, isn't that lovely? Oh, it is an old church, isn't it? What's left of it
Yeah,
anyway?
so there must be more of it before.
The Hall Farm, perhaps there was something here.
Yeah,
Normally old farms have names for a reason, don't they?
they do.
Oh, look at this. Honestly.
How many miles from Rugby?
Well, but,
2 or 3?
yeah, the M6 is just a couple of miles that way, I think. 2 or 3 miles that way. Maybe a bit further, possibly. It's just so pretty, isn't it? Lovely. Farmland.
What's a farmland?
Something very fertile about Warwickshire, isn't there?
Yes. These aren't like Warwickshire lanes in other parts.
Well, we're in the
County.
very north of the county here,
Yeah.
aren't we? On the borders of
Quite different from the south.
Coventry. Well, Coventry actually. We're going towards Coventry now. And we need to go left again in a minute. We'll come out on the main road and go left and then left again. Just to go back over the river, really.
A narrow single track road, actually.
Yes. Very wet everywhere, isn't
Just a bit.
it? I wonder how it's affected the farmers' crops. All this
Wouldn't be
rain.
ideal.
Yes, crikey. You go left on this road and then left again over the river. Queen's Head. Go out to the left. Oh, and we should go back over the river here. I'll try and get this is a bit busier, isn't it? So I'll
Yeah.
try and film it. Well, we're making our way back over the River Avon again now, before we stop off for lunch. You go slow down. There we go. This is a little bit further down. It's starting to look a bit more like the Avon, but it still looks flooded to me. Yes, it's not deep there. The land's still very flooded, isn't it? Gosh, we've got so much rain. Anyway, if you follow the signs now, we're going to go down here. We'll be making a right to Woolston. And are we back on the Foss Way then again?
Straight
That's
south.
interesting, isn't it?
This is going towards it, I
That definitely said Woolston, didn't it?
think so.
Oh yes, I see. Yeah, we can come back onto the Foss Way.
Yes, this Foss Way.
Yeah. Well, we'll be going right in a minute to Woolston. Well, we'll be crossing the river yet again. And I think this is the one where, at some point after lunch or before lunch, if you've got time, we can actually. There's a bridge over that you can walk over the river, so we might be able to
Gosh.
film it.
You just step forward for us. Someone's got it now.
Something's coming out here, hasn't it? Just as we were getting to do it, look at the old school.
Yeah.
Still cooking at school. Oh, that's an old VW, isn't it? Of course, brand garden is Coventry, isn't it? I think it might be parking there as well. Oh, that's a nice Georgian house, isn't it?
It's like a bit of a stream on it.
Woolston. It's very pretty, isn't it? Rose and Crown, half price price. Oh, I like places where they've got little streams. It's very pretty, isn't it? Look at that. It's very difficult managing a phone, a microphone, camera, trying to keep it level, trying to think what to say. Oh, there's the church. That's pretty. That's an old church. So I wonder if that's private land then, as they fenced it all off.
Gone to the church.
Oh, this might be back over the river. This is the footpath over the river here. Which hopefully, if we can find somewhere to park, we might be able to walk along them. Oh, look, the swans and everything. Oh, it's so nice to see the river in its infancy, as it were.
So we're coming back here.
Well, this is where the pub is, so we can either stop now. Oh, and that actually is where there was a castle, Brandon Castle. And the waterworks, sewage treatment. But I couldn't find anywhere. Oh, that's very grand. I couldn't find anywhere to park here for walking, so it's a railway. Brought all the money into Rugby, apparently. So, somewhere around here. Big hole.
Yeah, we'll drive over the middle of it.
Does look busy, doesn't it?
Here we are, our first walk across the River Avon. Starting to look a bit more like a river. There we are.